Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is REANIMal. In REANIMal, you play as a brother and sister as they navigate a nightmare come to life. Whether you're playing solo or co-op, you'll be going against tons of different monstrosities in this seemingly otherwise abandoned location. What are you doing there? Trying to find your missing friends, of course. All the while, you'll be running from a tall, inhuman yet human-looking man, slithering human skins, and much, much more. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat? Okay, you're playing as kids in this game. Imagine having to run from these monsters as kids. Would you not be scared in that situation?
Absolutely, especially when you get in this whole like James and the Giant Peach kind of vibes. I mean, it's even more darker in the aesthetic. And I don't know. I mean, have you ever felt like you ever booted up a game and then just instantly thought, Henrik, like, what kind of fresh trauma did I just sign up for? Yeah, that's REANIMal. What do you say, Henrik?
Oh yeah, definitely. They are pulling out all the stops for these monster designs to make it so that they're grotesque. Maybe not grotesque in the sense of like, you know, your typical monster you might see in like a Resident Evil game.
Right, like no jump scare in a sense.
Like, yeah, but they are grotesque in the sense of like, you might have seen in the clips, these slithering human skins.
Oh my gosh,
came up
dude.
with that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for real, right? I mean, from the disturbed minds behind Little Nightmares 1 and 2, REANIMal opens you with this like steering of a sputtering motorboat through this like suffocating fog and those red buoys blinking like they're guiding you straight into regret. And I just love how they use the camera angle in this game to like make it feel so tight, like the ocean itself is like judging your life choices in this game. And so, Henrik, like, are you the type of gamer who turns the lights off and puts the headset on full bass, or do you kind of like to keep the hallway lamp on, just like a responsible adult would?
Oh, I immersed myself in this game. You know, I sat there in the dark and played it, and it made it even better, probably, to just do that, because that is what the game is asking of you, is asking you to immerse yourself in this abandoned world that is just full of mystery and intrigue, and the game doesn't tell you anything, but it shows you everything.
Yeah, I agree with you, Henrik, and I feel like, you know, with the gameplay in REANIMal, it's basically anxiety parkour, right? I mean, you're squeezing through pipes, you're going to be climbing ladders, you're going to be creeping through the tall grass. You have a lantern in hand, which basically is doing anything useful, I would say. And like every environment is a puzzle box that requires coordination, and sometimes you might be side by side, and then other times the game splits you up just to see if the panic improves communication, and trust me, it does not.
Yeah, and that's the thing you were saying. You can play this with other people. It is either a single player or a co-op experience. I play it single player, though I actually feel you probably get the most value out of it if you play a co-op with another friend to yell at and scream in terror as you're being chased by these monsters. Don't you think, Chris?
Well, especially, you know, considering how we have been, you know, we kind of made the joke at the beginning of the show, right? You know, there's so many twitchy multiplayer games out there, and sometimes we need something a little bit more refreshing. We all loved Split Fiction last year. We all need a little bit more of that kind of co-op, cinematic kind of style of play. And yeah, I feel like this game is encouraged to go in co-op, even though you can play it as a single player experience. And you know, Henrik, there are sequences where, you know, like you said, those bodies slide towards you, like with that score that vibrates like it's alive. And I don't know about you. I mean, I didn't like the whole idea with, let's say, you know, crawling under the benches to avoid those god-awful looking creatures that want to hurt you, in a sense. I mean, how did you like some of those moments, even with how the camera almost feels like it's giving you that like Crash Bandicoot energy, in a sense, when you have to like run like, towards yourself?
Yeah.
Might not be a cartoon boulder, but it's definitely some existential dread.
It is anxiety inducing for sure. And there's moments where I, you know, died because I couldn't think so quickly in the moment and got caught by one of those things. Fortunately, there isn't that big of a penalty for dying. You just start back maybe a little further behind, and then you go back to where you were. But that's the beauty of it. You know, you get to go back into those moments and feel that anxiety of being chased all over again.
Yeah, and you also even kind of touched on this already, but Reanimal tells its story the way your nightmares do, in a sense, right? They're out of order and aggressively vague. I mean, you won't get a clean exposition in this game. You'll get symbolism. Yeah, you're gonna get those twisted child figures, monstrosities that feel like someone weaponized bioterrorism. But the developers, I truly believe, clearly wanted you to soak in the dread before understanding anything. And did that work for you, Henrik?
Yeah, especially since I did try to immerse myself as much as possible in the game. The atmosphere, they did a fantastic job of building. And that is a very important part to any horror media, whether it be video games, movies, whatever, is building the atmosphere in the proper way to deliver the scares properly as a result. And it just built upon those scares really because yeah, you can look at the tall man or these slithering human skins, and actually if you pull them out of context, they look kind of silly. But in the context,
yeah,
it actually ends up being kind of scary.
But the atmospheres is what really like draws you in. Yeah, you're going to be walking through the wilderness. Yeah, you're going to be on open water. There are even underwater sequences. There's war bunkers. You're going to be going into a laundry room. I mean, you're just like going, where is this taking me? I'm not quite sure where this is all going. But then adding in that like shared directed camera, I feel like is genius for this kind of style of game because it's maximizing on that claustrophobia, right? I mean, it's even got those open spaces that still feel tight because you're not fully in control of what you see. And the world, I would say, also feels massive in a sense, but the framing keeps you boxed in. And I find that helps with these kind of style of horror games when you limit the perspective. Wouldn't you say, Henrik?
Yeah, I mean, because if say this game was a over the shoulder third person adventure where the camera's following you the whole time, yeah, it would lose probably a bit of the magic just because, like you were saying, the maps as they feel now feel pretty big, but if it was over the shoulder, it might feel a little bit smaller because of you being able to see, explore maybe more based on the fact that more is open to viewing. And also you probably would get a closer look at these monsters as well. Whereas with the way it's set up now, the camera's pretty far away. So you never really get a good look at these monstrosities. And that is a big element of building horror as well as keeping the intrigue of these horrors that you're facing to make sure that there's always that filling in the gaps with your own imagination. And your imagination is probably going to be more messed up than what the actual reality is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, Reanimal isn't the longest experience, I would say. I mean, it's pretty tightly crafted, excuse me. It's very atmospheric and built for that co-op experience, especially when you and your gaming homie are burned out from those sweaty, twitch-heavy multiplayer games and need something different. I feel like this game is for you. But that said, I mean, once the credits roll, Henrik, it feels more like a one and done experience than a constant replay. And so my verdict for this game, as much as I had a fun time, the first playthrough, it's a pause. But what do you say, Henrik the Wreck?
Maybe because I played it single player, I actually feel this is going to be a repeat for me because I'll probably want to play it again with maybe one or two other people, separate times, to
that could
have
be the
them
draw.
experience it. Yeah, and see like, hey, I know what's happening, but then you get to see their reaction, be like, "Oh, whoa, this is happening. We're getting chased right now."
Right, you can slowly guide them through, the different sequences throughout the game. You kind of know what's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to see your homie, all going like, "What the hell? What are we doing? I'm just following you, man."
Yeah,
I guess those are all really, really good points. But we want to hear from you, the gamers, the players out there all around the world. Are you vibing with Reanimal? Do you feel like this is a fantastic game that deserves to be played over and over again? Or is this just a kind of a pause to play something new? Doesn't necessarily mean a pause means bad. Pause just means it is what it is.